Hello and welcome to the Yellow Duke Scotland. This is a special type of video in which I will be telling you my 5 best places in Scotland to visit. These are my own preferences, this is my own opinion. I'm sure you will have your own ideas, but for any visitor coming to Scotland who doesn't have much of an idea where to go, I'll give you a few suggestions in this video. So without any further ado, my number 1 place is Edinburgh, and specifically Princess Street Gardens. In Princess Street Gardens you will be surrounded by all sorts of history, all sorts of beautiful sights. I like to sit in a park bench in Princess Street Gardens and just gaze all around, looking up at the old town, the spectacular Edinburgh Castle, Scott Monument, the Flower Clock. It's a wonderful place just to sit and eat a bit of lunch. I always feel centred there for some reason. I always feel Princess Street Gardens is the centre of Scotland, the essence of Scotland. It's a very welcoming sort of place and absolutely beautiful. I think Edinburgh as a whole is one of the most beautiful cities in the world. Can't be too many places better than it. Maybe 1 or 2, Venice, or places like that. But Edinburgh should definitely be your first port of call. I'm sure it will be. I'm sure visitors to Scotland want to go there anyway. But Princess Street Gardens, my number 1. My number 2 place are the bridges. The bridges over the Firth of Forth, the Forth Bridge, the Forth Road Bridge and the Queensferry Crossing. The Forth Bridge was a railway bridge built in 1890, sometimes called the Forth Rail Bridge today to distinguish it from the other 2 bridges. Iconic bridge, very famous in the past, still is. And the other 2 bridges are the Forth Road Bridge, built in 1964. Again, wonderful bridge. You can walk across it these days, which is a worthwhile thing to do. And then the Queensferry Crossing is the 3rd bridge, built in 2016. Very modern, very beautiful in its own way. It's got these white shimmering cables hanging down. I think it's a fantastic bridge as well. The 3 bridges closely, situated closely together make a fantastic sight. And if you wanted one symbol of Scotland, I'd probably go for an image of these 3 bridges. So fantastic. So that's my number 2. My number 3 place is Loch Ness. Now, probably many visitors to Scotland come to Scotland for one reason only: to visit Loch Ness and to try and spot Nessie, the Loch Ness monster. If that's the case with you, then the place you should be heading for is Drumnadrochit, a village on the western shore of Loch Ness, situated just about there, in which you will find the Loch Ness Centre and Exhibition. There you'll get all the information you need about the monster and the history and geography of Loch Ness as well. But Loch Ness is interesting for many other things, in my view. I'm not all that interested in the monster these days, although I was fascinated by the story when I was a kid. I believed in it, but as I've got older, read more, thought about it more, to be honest, I don't believe in its existence anymore. But I am very interested in the phenomenon of the Loch Ness Monster. And I made a video about this not so long ago. So if you want to check that out, you'll find my theories on what's actually going on. So check that out. But Loch Ness is very interesting. There's lots of interesting bits and pieces scattered around the loch. Urquhart Castle, for one, is a wonderful ruined castle on the shores of the loch. Very interesting in itself. So definitely go to Loch Ness. It's a great loch. It's my favourite loch in Scotland. I've got a lot of favourite lochs. There's a lot of beautiful lochs scattered all over that I really like. But Loch Ness is the best one in my view. Number 4 on my list is the Old Man of Storr, which is situated just about here on the northeastern side of the Isle of Skye. The Isle of Skye in itself is a fantastic place to visit. Lots of stunning mountains and other features. But the Old Man of Storr is a pinnacle of rock jutting out from the ground 100 feet up into the air. Spectacular sight, spectacular weird rock formation that you don't get in too many other places. Really worth seeing. Quite easy to get to. You can park your car on the side of the road and there's about a 20-minute walk to get to it. Little bit of a gradient, nothing too strenuous though. So definitely worth visiting the Old Man of Storr. Now my 5th place is a beach called Sandwood Bay, which is located just about here, about 4 or 5 miles south of Cape Wrath, the northwestern headland of the Scottish mainland. Sandwood Bay. Now, Sandwood Bay, in my opinion, is the best beach in Scotland. I would say it's the best beach in Britain. It might even be the best beach in the whole world. Why do I say that? Because surely there are hundreds of tropical beaches which are much better. Well, in terms of weather, yes, obviously. Scotland is notorious, of course, for cold and wet, rain. You know, the weather's never that brilliant. Even on a summer's day, it's you know, it's hot, but it's not tropical. But however, the beach itself, what's the quality that for me distinguishes it from other beaches? I think it's unspoilt beach. When you approach it, and it's difficult to approach because you can't drive to it. You need to park your car about 4 miles away from the beach, and then you walk over a rough track for 4 miles before you get to the beach. And when you reach the beach, you have this feeling of you might be the first person ever to see it. It's got that feel about it, remote. And it's about 1.5 miles long, the beach, and there's lots of sand dunes. There's an awful lot of sand on this beach. Sometimes I think it's got more sand than any place outside of Saudi Arabia. The dunes are fantastic. The marram grass growing through the dunes. And it's got this desolate quality. Pristine beach, a lonely beach. It's got a slightly eerie atmosphere. And there are legends of ghosts of drowned sailors being seen and that kind of thing. So it's got for me, a magical atmosphere that you need to experience. Just inland from the beach is a loch, Sandwood Loch, and at one point it was connected to the sea. The beach wasn't really there. The sea and the loch were connected, and 1,000 years ago Viking fleets would come down from the north and come round Cape Wrath, which is a dangerous place for seafarers, and then they would rest up. They would shelter in this Sandwood Loch and prepare to come down and start fighting the Scots, and you can believe it. It's a perfect haven for a fleet of ships who've just done that journey. So it's got a lot of history surrounding it as well. So for me, Sandwood Bay is one of the best places I've ever seen, and definitely try and get there if I were you. But it's, as I say, it's slightly difficult to get to. It's obviously almost the most extreme place on the mainland to try and reach, but well worth it if you can actually make it. So there we are. Those are my 5 top places. I hope you found this of interest, and if you are visiting Scotland, you might like to consider one or more of these places to visit on your trip here. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.